Hey, YouTube, let's do this.
Back to nature, climbing higher. Woods are thick, hiking alone. Hear a tree crack, loud as gunfire. Stops you cold, chill to the bone. Hear the growling, turn to howling. Something's prowling, just out of sight. Beast in the night. Beast in the night. The forest has fallen silent. The mountains dark. The moon is full. Catch the black shape of a giant, 8 feet tall, unbelievable. Your heart is pounding, huge steps are bounding. Your hope is drowning in the fading light. Beast in the night. Beast in the night. Oh, hell yeah. Run for your life. Step it up. Your fear is growing. Red eyes are glowing. You might die knowing those folks were right. Beast in the night. Beast in the night. Beast in the
And hey, everybody, welcome to the channel. This is the other YouTubers series hosted here on the Squash Talk channel. And today we're welcoming back Mr. Tim Andrews, who has the Radio Labyrinth Podcast channel here on YouTube, and also is part of the on-air personality gaggle that is the Von Haessler Doctrine on WSB Radio 95.5 Atlanta. Welcome back, Tim. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me back. Are we going to talk about Sasquatch this week?
No. I mean, unless you want to talk a little Squatch, we can.
I think I heard one the other day when I was in the woods.
Yeah. Down in some park in the middle of 5 million people there that you're around.
Yeah, Tucker. I think there's a huge presence of Bigfoots in Tucker. Now, I just think it's cool. I watch cryptozoology. Is it cryptozoology or cryptozoology? I think it's
cryptozoology.
Yeah, that always used to fascinate me when I was a kid, and to a degree, it still does. So, but I didn't mean to derail you with that.
No, it's okay, man. You're welcome to. Sometimes I do open mic shows. You're welcome to pop in anytime you want. If I'm doing an open mic, man, just message me. I'll send you the link. So,
And what's that? People just jump in and talk.
Yeah, basically, I'll just I'll kind of open it up to people. I'll put my email address, or if they know me on Facebook, they can just say, "Hey, yeah, I want to jump in," and I'll
That's
send them the link, and they can jump in and just open mic talk about Squatch.
I think that's what we should do that for Radio Labyrinth. Just every once in a while, do a scheduled live show on YouTube. Just talk shit, see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. I mean, you've got again, it's one of those things. It's like where you're live 5 days a week, so you get it out of your system. It's like, but it is fun. It's fun to just jump on YouTube and do it in a way, obviously a way more casual way.
It's also fun to do live show on YouTube without commercials or any kind of interruptions or breaks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just it's pure freedom.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't have a 250,000 people listening to me right now. Or whatever it is. I don't know exactly what those numbers are, but I know they're up there.
I don't know either.
But yeah, thanks for coming back on, man. I really enjoyed your latest episode on the Radio Labyrinth podcast channel.
Thank you.
From Russia with nostalgia.
Right. It's funny. We came up with that idea to just talk about those Gen X type Cold War movies.
Yep.
On Tuesday, and then I watched Wednesday night's new South Park, and all of a sudden I'm not Mr. Garrison, I'm Mr. Mackey, because Mr. Mackey ended up going down that rabbit hole of 80s films. So they started this. They did the South Park, I guess, right after Putin invaded Russia, or they took a week. I don't know, but they turned it around quick.
Yeah, like they do.
Yeah. And Mr. Mackey, we're talking about Russia, and he goes back to his mom's house, and his room is exactly the same. It was an interesting episode. I'm still a huge fan of that show, and I know now that there's 10,000 different things to watch, listen to, or whatever. I think South Park still is one of the best shows out there.
It's great, man. Those guys are still cranking them out better than ever. It's like they've grown. They've just grown into themselves, man. Once they hit their real stride and rhythm, man, there's just no looking back. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've seen seasons 1 through 13 or 14, I guess, several times. I just did a rewatch of starting in 2014, I think, or 2013, a rewatch of those seasons. And when they get to Donald Trump running for president, and it becomes Mr. Garrison taking over that role,
right?
And how just all the stuff that's unfolded socially and politically in the last, I don't know, since 7 years, maybe 8 years, they've been on top of it, and everything they've done, looking back, not having watched them in so long, they were so accurate.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, I see somebody popped in. Hi, Cindy Finn.
Yeah, I pulled up a comment because they're mentioning Red Dawn, which you obviously was sort of that was the main one out of the 80s sort of pop culture Cold War stuff. Obviously, man, Red Dawn was one of the biggest.
Yeah, think it was the Outsiders fighting Russia.
Yeah, I know, right? You're right. The Outsiders. It
Not
was
all of them, but a good deal of them, for sure.
It was a good bit from that cast. Yeah, some of the best people from that cast.
See Thomas Howell drinking the deer blood, and yeah, it was, who was it? It was, well, of course, Patrick Swayze. Was Rob Lowe in it? I don't remember. I don't know, but definitely Charlie Sheen is in it. He's Patrick Swayze's brother. Just a great cast of people. And just a lot of quotable lines. We watched that so many times, over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was a fun movie back in the day.
Hang on a minute, I got a couple of heirlooms I'd like to leave with you. Jed, no. The girls are in the basement. Leah Thompson and who's the other one? Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey, yeah. Jennifer Grey. Yeah. But yeah, that was a good episode. So everybody check that out over on Tim's channel.
Radio Labyrinth.
Radio Labyrinth, and the other one, the Josh Joplin group.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome, man. I loved seeing that. That brought back, that's jarred so many memories out of my head that of all those bands back then, man.
That 90s music scene.
And the 90s music scene, which I was a part of.
Yeah.
I was more, hold on. I was more on the rock side.
So where'd you play? Star Bar and Little Five?
God, I played all over the place, man. I think like the first gig I ever played in Atlanta was at the Rec Room.
Where was that?
That was down by like Tech, right next to the Somber Reptile.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And but no, when I finally moved to Atlanta in 94, I believe, and I actually joined into a pretty good band with good songs, and first gig I ever played with that group was at the Roxy. So that was like a leap for me.
That's a big venue to play back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that was sort of like a dream come true. And then I ended up playing like center stage and the Fox Theater at one point with that band. So we got to do some pretty cool shows. But I do remember Josh Joplin band. But it took a little like jogging of some memories, and I was like, yeah, I remember those guys, and a lot of other bands that were talked about in that episode. But that was a great interview with him and with Josh and Jeff, I believe.
Jeff Mel,
guitar player. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jeff Melkonian, I believe. But he's a bass player in that band. But he plays guitar, I believe, in the remakes, which is the REM cover band that he's in.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that now.
The late 90s or 90s bands, maybe early 2000s that I remember, we used to go see the El Caminos a lot. Do you remember them?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I knew those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 6X, which was also before 6X, it was some of the people were in a band called 17 Years. I thought they were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe they never got it. And then the Artemis Pile Driver is another one I remember.
Yep, I remember Artemis.
A guy in Artemis Pile Driver lives down the street from me.
Yeah, God, all these names, and then a bunch of names that were thrown out of other bands, like 5'8".
Yeah, they're cool names.
Yeah, again, I was a part of that scene, man. So that was really cool. And of course, like Josh and those guys, they went on to do some cool stuff. I mean, they weren't stratospheric, but they did some cool stuff, and they had some success. And
yeah, they definitely got a notoriety on a national scale. Certainly being on all those television shows, Fox,
mm-hmm.
and I guess I don't know if it was the CW then or if it was the WB. I don't remember.
Right.
And yeah, I can remember TV shows from the mid 70s, or the late 70s. I can't remember very much at all from the 2000s beyond The Sopranos.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, The Wire, stuff like that. But I don't remember a lot of network TV from the 2000s.
Me neither, dude. But yeah, it's so that's a great one, especially for anybody that cares about the Atlanta music scene, or wants to hear about what the Atlanta music scene was like in the 90s. And it was a good one. Atlanta was really popping with that genre for a minute, and of course now like Atlanta's real famous more for the hip hop side and stuff like that.
I don't know that there's any rock music anymore. I don't know if there's young people playing rock music, traditional rock music, like a garage style type of thing. I don't know if that's going on. Of course, I'm too old to go down and check out clubs, and also have a baby. So
right. Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know. I don't see that. And I started noticing 5-6 years ago that festival lineups stopped having artists that I liked, and a lot of it for them dying or just disappearing. But we had a good run. We had a good run.
True. Yeah, it's different. I mean, there's still bands out there. There's still younger dudes, in their 20s, right?
Yeah,
that kind of have retro looks a little bit, you know, how do I describe it? God, just the long hair and older clothes, like not quite like the Black Crows, but something like that.
Well, you mean like a Greta Van Fleet?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
I was thinking about them. I liked them and especially when that first album came out, and definitely got a Zeppelin vibe off of them.
Hmm.
And the amount that I liked them made me realize that back in the 80s, when a band like Kingdom Come came out, I
Hmm.
was pissed and hated them because I thought they were ripping off Zeppelin.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess now that I'm old, I like hearing new Zeppelin music, and you're never going to hear that. So
Yeah, but like I'd say like Kingdom Come. I mean, that was sort of like you're right. It was that Zeppelin-y sort of ripoff
yeah, Kingdom Come.
attempt, but it was like it was that overproduced 80s
Mhm.
as well. Whereas like bands today, like what's weird is that they try and like underproduce, but with all this new technology, it's not reel to reel like it used to be. You're not mixing down to natural compression anymore. So
Yeah, a lot of times when I listen to 80s music, I wish that they would go back and remix it and pull out all that. You can really hear that digital, that there's no soul to it, there's no flaws to it. It's just too weird sounding.
mhm. Yeah, it's gotten better, but yeah, dude, I enjoyed the Josh Joplin episode.
Thank you.
One really good. And then the other one I wanted to touch on was Ben God, what's Ben Balin? No, Ben, the character actor.
Oh, that we had on a couple of weeks ago?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
I can't, man, his last name escapes me. It's gonna drive me nuts. I want to do him justice. Just give me a sec. What is I don't think I have
And
it.
Bladen.
Bladen.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. you're right.
And because so I hung out with Ben.
Oh, you did?
Yes, several years ago on set, on the Walking Dead set.
Oh,
So
that's
I would hang out with him. He was a cool guy, because we would all like I was a walker as well, and in between when most of the day we had nothing to do, honestly, except sit around in our makeup and wardrobe,
right.
smoke cigarettes, But I remember Ben because he was a very unique guy, man, because of his sort of frame and you know but yeah, and then I there he is on your show, and I'm like, I remember Ben. So that was really cool. I'm glad he's gone on to do more like better character actor roles too. It's good to see he's
His
having success.
yeah, his stuff in Your Pretty Face is pretty funny.
Mhm.
And I guess now he's getting a lot of talking stuff, or getting talking speaking roles and stuff. And what a
Yep.
great market to be in if that's your goal and that's your desire. Being right here in Atlanta where they shoot everything.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think he'll get plenty of work, and
Mhm.
just
And he has a unique look too
yes.
that would make him a character actor that people will want to hire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I remember him so well from being on set. And this was like what 6
Can you
years
believe
ago.
how long that show has been on? I haven't watched it in a very long time.
Oh yeah, it's on its final season, which is 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I was real heavy in 6. I did most of my work on that show in season 6. So yeah, about 6 years ago.
And you were a walker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What scenes were you in, or what season? What was the storyline?
I was season 6 was the most I was in the show. And throughout that season, there was like basically a herd of walkers that ended up penetrating into Alexandria. So I got to be part of what was called the No Way Out storyline, which is when Alexandria gets it gets infiltrated by a lot of walkers. And man, that was crazy. Those shoots were crazy, man.
I wonder,
And
I wonder what they're going to do with that town. I know they're taking down the wall. I guess they're
yeah,
just the houses.
yeah, those are real houses.
Yeah. But
That's a real neighborhood.
Can you imagine how annoying it'll be for the next 10 years in that neighborhood?
Oh,
Because
they'll put up a gate. I guarantee you it will be a gated community, you know.
Yeah. The person that owned Mary Tyler Moore's house had to put an impeach Nixon sign in the window so people would stop bothering her.
Right.
Or something like that. There's a story similar to that.
Yeah, it's like the Amityville Horror House in Long Island.
Yeah, I saw that house.
They took those windows out. Those creepy. They took them out and changed those windows so that people would stop.
It's still where they live. I also went to. Well, I didn't get out of the car and walk around, but Joey Buttafuoco's house in Long Island.
Oh,
Speaking
really?
of Long Island and things that are irrelevant now.
Right.
But I'm like, this is where Joey Buttafuoco got shot. I want to see it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was like that's one of the coolest experiences like I've had in the entertainment world was being a part of that show and getting to shoot, especially those night shots. You know, we're I got killed like 50 times that night, you know.
Right.
And
are there actors that you worked with?
Yeah, I got to work close with the principal cast a lot. You know, we weren't BFFs or anything. It's just that we were shooting scenes and they were stabbing me in the face, you know, or hitting me with a hammer. Actually, one chick hit me with a rubber hammer. It actually hit my head. It hurt like hell.
So it's a solid rubber, but not flimsy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it actually hurt, man. I was like, ow.
Damn.
Yeah. But it was fun. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about The Walking Dead. But I just thought I'd bring that up, man. That
that's cool.
I remember being on set. Yeah.
I want to do something acting wise. I don't know if I ever will. I've done a couple of voices on Adult Swim, but I would like to do something. And I figure that once Gil gets to be 1 or 2 years old, it might be a little more manageable.
Yeah, you could definitely do some voice acting. Were you on Squidbillies?
I was on Squidbillies, I think 4 times. 3
That's
times
cool.
As Larry Munson and once just using my own voice.
That makes sense. You do a great Munson.
Thank you. I haven't done it in a while, so if it's rusty, that's why. Rusty.
Oh no, that was hilarious. The other day, you started messing with Dave Baker.
Oh, on WSB.
Yeah, on that. Yeah, I saw that. I caught that.
Yeah, but
that sucks.
I would love to do it. I just either too lazy or don't know how to find an agent, or if you even need it. I don't know. I like doing what I do, and it takes a lot creatively out of me after I'm there 3 hours or 3.5 hours sometimes. But it's a lot of fun, and I just I want to find something else to do creative. I know that acting, you're just sitting around all day until you act.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of downtime, so I don't know that I'd be able to do that.
Maybe. It is, and I mean if your principal cast, it's great. I mean, you got a trailer and a PlayStation, whatever. You got everything you need until you go shoot your scenes. But yeah, if you're anything less than principal cast, it's a lot of sit around and wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't pay very well.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, so what else? What do you have coming up for it? Big plans for Radio Labyrinth?
We don't really have a lot going on right now other than our regular show. When we get guests, we get them at the last minute, or we have a short amount of time leading up to doing the interviews. But we're gosh, what are we going to be doing? I'm going to be releasing that episode with the radio legend Scott Shannon, who just had a documentary come out called Worst to First about Z100 in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Basically how this guy came out of Tampa and took a station that was dead in the water and made it #1 within a year. And shortly thereafter left the market. And of course they don't go into that, but this is all about Z100. And I really geeked out on that because I'm a radio dork. So that's kind of a goal of mine, is to start getting more people from the radio industry on the show, people who had a national presence. Now, two people, of course, that I can't get on, but I would love would be Dick Clark and Casey Kasem, who both people I met, but long before I was doing interviews.
Really?
Yeah. This was in the late 90s doing radio conventions.
Oh, okay. That's neat, man. Dick Clark.
I worked for a marketing company that did commercials for radio stations, and so we would do trade shows. And we did a trade show in Los Angeles. It was at Century Center, whatever that's called, Century Plaza. It was in this big hotel, and they had industry parties throughout the hotel. Like any kind of big convention like that, there's industry parties. So I went to Dick Clark Productions party, or whatever it was called, and met briefly Dick Clark, and for a very short amount of time had a good conversation with Ray Manzarek from The Doors.
Cool.
And boy, that dude was tall. And I believe that was the same one where they did something with Casey Kasem, and I was standing right next to him, and he was sweating, and I just remember the hair dye running down his face.
Oh man!
And everybody got a copy, a 3 or 4 disc autographed copy of their very first American Top 40.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. I liked doing that, and seeing Garth Brooks at that thing with he and Trisha Yearwood played a couple of Billy Joel and James Taylor songs, not his own. Going to those things was kind of fun, but it was always in a goal to do in that industry. My goal was always to make enough connections nationwide that I could get a radio gig eventually. And lucky for me, it just happened to be in Atlanta where I was living with 96 Rock.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
But those guys are gone. I can't interview Casey Kasem or Dick Clark. So, but there's other people I want to talk to. Maybe not, super well known, but known by me. So,
sure. What about Bortz?
Nah.
Nah.
I'm talking about people more entertainer, less political. I mean, right. I've talked to him. It's not because I wouldn't want to hear what he has to say, but it's just right now politically not expedient.
Sure, I get you. So no Hannity either. Then
I would talk to Hannity, yeah, but I don't know that he'd be a kind of guy that would let his guard down. I would want to talk about his time living in Atlanta, almost getting in a fight with Kim Peterson.
Really?
Yeah, Kim Peterson. Kim waited for him down in either the lobby or outside and was going to kick his ass. I'd like to know what's behind all that. But I talked to Sean Hannity. He seems like when you pull him away from the politics, he's just a normal dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be interesting, actually. God, who else? There's got to. I mean, Stern.
Yeah. Well, at first he wouldn't do it, but
yeah.
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't mind talking to Stuttering John Melendez. He's super political too, but I would want to talk to him about not that.
Right.
A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people pick silos. I almost did it 2 years ago, but I decided to back away from all that as much as I could and just use my social media to try to be funny and share my Wordle score. And promote Radio Labyrinth and stuff like that, and drawings and stuff. Everybody can get on there and be a dime store pundit. I'm not good at it, and all you do is polarize people.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I don't talk politics on this channel. I just don't.
Yeah, I want to entertain, and I have my beliefs, but who cares what I think?
Right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I alienate 20 people just so one person laughs at what I said or yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. And even if you go, like, I've thought of creating a political channel and then, and I never did. And I'm glad, because I mean, even if I did that and then I'm just preaching to the choir.
Yeah. Or you're pissing off the other choir.
Right. And yeah, exactly. So it's like, there's no point,
No.
Again, which is what like makes the von Haessler Doctrine so entertaining and good, is because you guys will make fun of anybody. It's great, Yeah.
And Eric has his opinions, and Eric has his belief system, and he shares that, but he's not pounding it down your throat or, hitting you over the head with it all the time. He's trying to set us up to be funny or being funny himself. Convey information, stay local as much as possible, which that kind of gets boring too because it's all politics in that regard.
Yeah.
If I mute, I am sneezing.
That's cool, man. But yeah, it's what's going on with the video thing? You guys still trying to figure that out?
Right now, it's just available on WSB.com. That's
Yeah.
the only place you can access it, and I don't know when that's going to change. That's
So
one of
good.
those things I isolated myself away from ever having to know
Right.
any of those details. You know what I mean? I used to have to know all that stuff.
Yeah. True.
But I'm not a producer, and I'm not the producer. So
Mm.
if I don't have to worry about it, it's one less thing to clutter my mind.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You show up and go live, and
Yep. I hope it's soon because I know that people. I'm like anyone else. I have a platform that I prefer to use. For instance, Joe Rogan, when he was, everywhere before he was exclusive to Spotify, I liked watching him on YouTube.
Yep.
And you could pause it and, or do other things while you're watching. But I liked knowing that it was on YouTube and I didn't have to open up another app, blah, 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 blah. He's at Spotify now. So I see it less and less. I mean, and he's always a show like Joe Rogan, always depending on the guest for me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I like to I hope they figure that out and it comes back to YouTube soon. Because it's become my preferred method of consuming the show.
Hang on one second.
Yeah, sure. I think Tim might have some daddy stuff to do there, which is fine. But hey, thanks everybody for being here. What's up, Lockbeard? Are you still in YouTube jail? It's because I see it's your AKA channel. What's up, Mr. Lee 3PO? How you doing, bud? Cindy, thanks for being here. Sharon, hope you guys are enjoying this. It's kind of a casual conversation. There's gonna be we're gonna get into the regular guys stuff, and that should get a little interesting here in a little while before Tim's got to go because we only have him for a certain amount of time today, which is fine.
Sorry about that. I accidentally locked out my wife and Gilbert.
Oh no.
They're out walking, and I should have just left the door unlocked.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so where were we? I'm sorry.
It is Atlanta. I was just sort of opining about how much I love to consume that show, the Doctrine on YouTube. It had become my favorite way to consume it. But especially if I want to catch the show after the fact, if I wasn't able to catch it live or whatever, because I loved all of a sudden the new dimension where it's visual,
Yeah, I think that YouTube is the best place to watch it, even though we're not on it right now. But I will say this: when a company decides, okay, we're going to do everything and bring it all back into our own platform that we own and control, there's a positive to that, which is you're not on YouTube. YouTube, no one can tell you to take it down except
Right.
the company. Facebook can't tell you to take it down or give you a strike or give you a warning or scold you. But when you do have something on your own platform, you need to make it accessible to everyone and you need to make it shareable. And that's what a lot of companies do the wrong way is, well, it's exclusive to us, but we have a button where you can share it. And then you go to share it and the graphic sucks, or it's just your logo, or or a stupid, all the link and stuff. You got to make it easy to share with other people. And that's one thing that Autumn and I did a side project that we've talked about briefly on air, very little on air, but we're going to have a teaser audio of it this coming week, I believe.
Okay.
And we're going to be putting it out, basically a parody of Prince Harry and Meghan. And we have a couple of episodes recorded already, and I want to get it out there. But anyway, sharing it is, we can't put any artwork on it because of this and that and the other thing. So whatever. It is what it is. You just got to do what you do.
Right. But is that for the show?
Mhm.
Or I mean, or do you guys have complete, like you and Autumn have complete control over it?
Well, I suppose if we could, if we wanted to, but it all came about on the show, and
Right,
so
yeah.
we're gonna do it in the within the show's platform.
Yeah, and that's going to be funny. Like, so for people who don't know that Prince Harry and they
Meghan
got,
Markle.
yeah, they got signed, they got paid some ridiculous amount of money to do a podcast on Spotify. I think they only did one.
I don't know that they've done more than one. No, I
Yeah,
went through it
and
the other day, and they
it
did
was
that
like
2 years ago.
millions of dollars, and it's just it's kind of nonsensical.
Well,
It-
you know, the pandemic came along and we couldn't get together. I don't know what the excuse is.
Right.
Probably because nobody's going to listen to it. Who's going to listen to them talk?
Right, exactly. And so that's what you're parodying, basically. So yeah, I look forward to that.
Well, I'll let you know when it comes out. It should be soon, hopefully this week. That's the goal. But we haven't done a lot of promotion of it. So
Cool, good deal, man. So I wanted, like, where you and I actually kind of left off at a interesting point last time we were talking,
Mhm.
because it was we were talking about the regular guys, and so are you aware of, or have you ever seen so Southside Steve has a YouTube channel called the Yeah Come On Show.
Yeah, he does a podcast.
Right. Yes. And I guess it was a couple of years ago he had Larry on.
I watched
Hey,
that episode.
have you ever seen that?
I watched it the week it came out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Where Steve is drunk.
Yeah. Well, Steve, that's his shtick. He just gets lit,
Yeah.
while they're recording. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. And some things were said, but that was a sort of interesting moment between those two. So I wasn't sure if you had seen that or not.
Yeah, I saw it. I had Larry on Radio Labyrinth a couple times, I believe. If not, definitely. I know I had him on one time, but I think we've had him on twice. I just don't remember doing it so long. But yeah, it was fun to have him on the show and talk about old times and to bury the hatchet.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't think anyone does. I mean, if you're dragging shit from 10, 12 years ago with you through life, then, there's problems.
Right.
No, I've said this publicly. I've said it on the Radio Labyrinth podcast. If I hadn't done Voices at 96 Rock, if Larry and Eric hadn't given me the opportunity to be on the show with them, then I wouldn't be talking to you. I would be living somewhere else, working at a restaurant. I don't know what I'd be doing. But they both did. It's Eric, obviously, with the doctrine and bringing me along. I kind of knew that I wanted to be with the doctrine when I was still working for Cumulus, when I was on that radio abortion show that unfortunately Steve was a part of, because I realized that he was probably miserable too. Anyway,
right.
But yeah, I don't have any bad feeling toward anybody. Certainly not Larry, because he's a funny guy, and it's kind of got me where I am. So
Yeah, no, I totally get that, man. And it was interesting to see. Like I sort of discovered it, I guess in prep. I was prepping to do the show with you, and I was just looking to see if there was any of the regular guys stuff on YouTube that used to be there. It seems like,
isn't it? It's all gone, right?
It's pretty much all been scrubbed.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
I came across that, where Larry had reunited with Steve on his podcast, and it was pretty interesting discussion, I thought.
Yeah. All that Southside Steve TV stuff used to be on YouTube, but I think Seabass controlled that. I don't know who controlled it, but it's gone now. Seabass has his own channel.
Right. Yeah, you told me that before. Yep. But yeah, man, that was just interesting. A little nostalgia there too.
Yeah, I still listen to some old bits, not so much from the Cumulus days, but I listen to some of the bits that I did when, I guess, between 2001 and maybe the fall of 2000, between 2001 and 2004. I did characters, just only characters, and nobody ever knew it was me.
Oh, really?
No. See, there was Ricky from Henry County. There was Travis Elliott was a guy. He's just a Southern dude. Ricky from Henry County was the moron who sued people. Terrell from Vine City, and Curtis Washington, that was more his second run at 96 Rock. Steve was that one was my favorite character. I just can't do it anymore.
No, yeah, I was about to say, dude, some of those times have changed.
Yeah. I'll do a voice. Like I'll still do President Obama's voice every now and then. Just because who else is going to do it on the show,
right?
And it's not that difficult to do, just a quick facsimile of it. But doing a 20-minute character, no.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
Definitely not. But that's cool, man. So yeah, what other plans do you have besides the Labyrinth, man? You said you do want to get into acting, or
it would be something I'd be interested in doing if it were available and I had the time to do it. You know what I mean? Like I would love to just be an extra, or maybe work my win. It's just have to wait now. I'm not gonna leave Caitlin at home. You watch the kid. I'm gonna go try to be an actor because I already have a job.
Yeah.
I could probably work a little bit harder toward getting voice work, but that's a saturated market too, and it's not as easy. Why don't you go get a voice job? Okay, it's not easy. People used to say, "Why don't you be a stand-up comedian? You're funny." Well, being funny is one thing. Being a funny comedian is another. Being a good comedian is even tougher because there's rules and there's routines, and you can't just get on stage and go, "I'm going to be a comedian. I'm going to write everything out." No, you got to stay up late. You got to do the open mics and fail. You have to suck and get booed or even worse, get ignored. And plus, I'm 51. I'm not going to be going out at 2 a.m. and doing a set at the Star Bar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy. Anybody that can do it, even if I don't, I don't like every comedian. Nobody can like every comedian, but I can appreciate them that they've got their craft down to where they could go entertain a bunch of people and make people laugh. If you can make a whole auditorium of people laugh, you have a skill and an ability that 99% of people in the world don't have. So
I agree. They're professionals. I mean, they're great at what they do, just like everything in the entertainment world, dude. The entertainment world is a tough place, man.
Yes. Although nowadays I will say that there are comedians who get more push because of the societal issues they discuss, as opposed to the content of their comedy and how, but again, I know there are people that would come after Larry the Cable Guy or Dane Cook or Jeff Dunham, but all those guys, again, they filled or fill. I don't know that Dane Cook still does. He was a phenomenon from MySpace days, but certainly Jeff Dunham can fill an arena. And again, not really my cup of tea. I don't hate it, but I'm saying he makes tons and tons of people laugh. And why shouldn't those people laugh? Because, they're not going to go and laugh at a David Cross show. And he's one of those guys that I've always, I like David Cross as an actor, but, oh, why do people like this idiot Larry the Cable Guy? Well, because they like him.
Right. Yeah.
Why do people like potatoes? They like potatoes.
Yeah. I mean, it just appeals to their sense of humor. I mean,
oh, they're not learned enough. Okay. I'm not trashing him. I think he's funny as shit as an actor, and I like him in sketch comedy, but there's room enough for everybody at the table, as they say.
And there is, people find their own styles and niche. It's almost like music, in a way. I mean, it's art.
It is art. Everything like that you work at and you have a craft and you hone it, it's an art.
Yeah.
Before I take off, is there any other questions you had, or how can I better promote that I'm on here?
You could just share the shows around, man. That's
all right.
I mean, you could tell Nick I said hey, and Steve Craig if he doesn't remember me personally, but I do know Nick.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a minute, but
Doodle Pip.
yeah, it's cool to see him on there too, man, when he gets to come on.
He's
And then,
probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
yeah,
And
he's a cool guy. Mhm.
And now that I'm more years away from where I grew up than where I grew up, if that makes any sense. I've been here and I met all the people that I'm working with now, except for Jared, I met in the year 2000 or 2001. So
Yeah.
I've known Nick for a long time, Eric for a long time, Greg and Autumn, slightly less, but still a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a good group.
I agree 100%. And it's, again, like, my audience here is, they're spread out all over the country. So, I encourage you guys to check out the Von Haessler Doctrine, WSBradio.com. You can listen to it live, or after the fact.
And we have an app. You can stream it from the app too if you're just
Or-
into audio.
That's true. The WSB Radio app as
Mhm.
well. So you can listen to it all around the country. I encourage you guys to check that out. 9 to noon, Monday through Friday.
Awesome. And also Radio Labyrinth podcast, which you can
Yes.
find anywhere and also on YouTube.
Yes, which I'm gonna have to change no, I put it in the description. It is in the description below. I did remember to do that last night.
Well, I'll make sure to share this on my social media, and also on our Radio Labyrinth stuff too.
I appreciate that, Tim. And tell Eric, if he ever wants to get some things off his chest and talk, man, he's welcome here too anytime, man.
I will.
I really want to talk to him about the Driving and Crying documentary.
Well, that might be your in, because he never tires of discussing that.
Yeah, because I want to know where that came from, and I want to hear that story, man.
Well, I'll see what he says. No promises.
No, I get it. He's a busy guy.
I'm just kidding. Well, dude, I enjoy being on here, so maybe in a little while I'll come back. It's an easy discussion, entertaining. There's probably more we could discuss. I want to know more about Bigfoot, so I'm sorry I keep saying Squatch Talk, but I think that's cool. I think Bigfoot's cool.
Oh, well, dude, like I said, man, you are welcome to jump in and be a part of the Bigfoot discussion anytime you want, man. Usually Tuesdays or Fridays. That's Tuesday nights or Friday nights is when I do my show, and about every fourth or fifth show is an open mic, third or fourth, something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
all right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, man. Again, thank you for having me on, and let me know when it's ready to go, and I'll get it posted on our and I'll promote this week on Radio Labyrinth.
Yeah, sure. The link I shared to you on Facebook already, that should do it. That's the link to the show.
Oh, okay.
So it'll as soon as I hit end broadcast, it'll still be there on YouTube.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I will talk to you again soon.
Yeah, man. And you have a good rest of your day, man. And I'll be listening this week.
All right. See you, man.
All right. See you. Bye. All right. Well, cool, man. So that's cool. Wrapping up my conversation with Tim. This is part 2. Just real good casual discussion, man. As we both Atlanta dudes, and then the entertainment throughout the years of all that entertainment and sort of intertwined paths. And so thanks, Tim, for coming on. I appreciate it. And I guess I got to start looking for another guest. Now, if I can get Eric on, that'll be great too. Lots to talk about there. But thanks, everybody, for watching, man. I'm going to keep trying to put these shows together. It's something different for me to do. It's cool stuff that I like. And it'll just kind of live here on Sundays for anybody that wants to watch. So thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll be back Tuesday night with another episode of Squatch Talk, and we'll be talking Squatch. And so I'm going to wrap it up. Everybody have a good day, and talk to you later.